In this video, I'm going to tell you why I think you should check out Signum Games by showing off some models that got me a finalist position at the UK's biggest brand-agnostic miniatures painting competition of 2023. At the end of 2022, I was lucky enough to get recognition from Signum Games for my painting, and they sent me some models to paint. This video and the models therein are the result of that work. On Jimmy the Brush's suggestion, I took them to Salute's 50th anniversary, which is the South Warlords Wargaming Convention. It's held usually around about this time or in April in London. They were one of two of my entries that managed to get a finalist card. Out of 3 or maybe 4 that I entered, I think 4. I'll try and put a few pictures of the other entries up, but I didn't take a picture of all the competitors in the category, so if I missed you, please let me know in the comments below. Right, here we go. Signum Games Monster Hunter Starter Set. First off, we've got the 3 regular Monster Hunters. They come with a few options of headwear and weaponry, are easy to build and tremendously easy to paint. They read well and are well defined. Their shapes lend themselves well to true metallic metals and non-metallic metal techniques. The third of these coming up was my first attempt at an object source lighting effect strong enough to create a split lighting scenario. While they spin around, I'll just read the Monster Hunter's lore from the Signum Games website. Pontifex Conrad's attempt to create a theocratic empire was not the only one. Almost 100 years before the reign of Augustus Sulphodon, a 6-year-old boy appeared on the throne of the emperor. His regent was the Pontifex Innes, a mad fanatic who was feared even by other clergymen of Emirs. The era of his reign is called the Synod of Bonfires. Priests in the Church of the One God fought for power, accusing each other of heresy, and Innes willingly burned anyone for the slightest suspicion, more and more plunging into madness. In the end, he completely lost his mind and denounced himself for witchcraft and sentenced himself to be burned. But shortly before this insane act, he founded the Order of Witch Hunters, whose duty was to search for and destroy any heretics and sorcerers in the lands of the Empire. The order was assembled from fighters, monks, and magicians approved by the church clergy. The new head of the church, who replaced Innes, declared most of the actions of the insane Pontifex illegal. The newly formed order also fell into disgrace. Several squads of highly trained witch and monster hunters fled the empire to avoid judgment. Once in the territories of the Free Barones, they did what they knew how: hunting monsters for a reward. Although they were still called witch hunters, they did not persecute real witches, nor did they persecute heretics. Outside the empire, other laws were in effect, and no one forbade witchcraft, as well as belief in other gods. When the fame of hunters fighting monsters spread enough, adventurers began to come to them, wishing to join the Brotherhood. Imperial culture of hunters mixed with local culture. The Brotherhood soon ceased to honor Emirs as a single god, and after a few years their connection with the Empire and its god was completely forgotten. What the Pontifex Innes would say, having learnt that for the 3 last decades even the witches themselves had been accepted into the Order of Witch Hunters, founded by him, we will never know, but he would hardly appreciate such irony. Now we've got Julius Insidious, the Old Hunter. One of a number of wheelchair-bound characters that Signum produced, Julius has an extremely characterful face that displays something between disdain, disgust, and pure unadulterated joy. His faithful doggo sits calmly by his side, ready to defend the old man from any successful approaches. They say Julius has outlived dozens of supreme vampires. Wilhelmina Helsing, the Scythe of Retribution. Wilhelmina has possibly the most beautiful face on a model that I've ever painted. She says you can't fight evil alone, and she's sure not to face evil without her faithful scythe and flintlock pistol. Jorg Uthwood, the Fateful Shooter. Wulfan is probably the best vampire hunter. How can you not fall in love with his quad Gatling cannon and underslung stake launcher combo? This model really helped me develop my non-metallic metal understanding, with shapes and stance that defy conformity. It's one of the best looking models in my collection, and he probably took well over 60 hours to complete. And here they are, all complete and together in full HD. You can't find this footage at this quality anywhere else. So if you like my work, be sure to subscribe, hit the like button, and if you wish to see more than this, then please leave a comment. It really helps the channel. Thanks for watching. I'm the Mini Mad Cat. Question everything and have fun.